Happy Monday. I hope you are all staying warm. Got our first snow of the year. That's always exciting. A couple things I wanted to cover for this week. You already know the content. You started working on it last week in your discussion post. We're going to be continuing forward with that. We're going to talk about the escalation stages and the de-escalation stages of NAPS theory. So keep working forward on that. I did want to show you here, I have moved quiz 6 into this week's module and combined it with quiz 7. So these two quizzes are working together. They're each worth 20 points. So even if you skipped one, you can still get the points for the other. If one of these quizzes is one that you've chosen not to do for this semester. But they work hand in hand. You'll see that I've also revised the different assignment requirements. So you'll see part 1, which was due last week, and most of you have already completed this and done very well on it. And then you'll see part 2, which is this week. So what I wanted to focus on, all you need to do is go back and choose 2 of your peers' posts who chose different relationships than what you chose. So if you chose Augie and Jack Will, find 2 people who chose different relationships, preferably 2 different relationships. Then you're going to read their post. You're going to try to formulate your thoughts about their post and continue the conversation with them. So you will post on at least 2 people's posts. You will write a couple of paragraphs that are professionally formalized, sharing your thoughts on what you thought they did really well, what sort of examples you thought were particularly impactful, given the specific type of stage that they were on. Then you'll discuss maybe a couple of stages that you thought, well, maybe they weren't quite accurate. Some stages that maybe you disagreed with where they were. Remember, relationships are complex. So one individual might think you're in one stage of the relationship, and the other individual might think you're in a different stage of the relationship. Then I want you to ask 2 to 3 thought-provoking questions. So not just about the content or not just asking for specific details, but I want you to ask questions that make us think specifically about the theory. So you might ask, for example, what might happen if something had happened differently within the relationship. So what would happen, for example, if Augie hadn't heard Jack Will's hurtful comments on Halloween? They would have continued in the relationship, and Jack Will would have still said those things, but Augie wouldn't know about it. So maybe start a conversation about how relationships change when you understand what people are saying behind your back versus when you don't know what people are saying behind your back. So I want you to start some sort of conversation about the theoretical implications of these different stages. You'll post those, and then I also want you to respond to at least 2 people who comment on your post. So if somebody comments on your post, you should go and respond to at least 2 of those. You don't have to respond to everybody because I know that there'll be some of you will have multiple people responding to your post. So respond to at least 2 of them. If only one person responds to your post, then you only need to respond to that one. But you do need to comment on 2 other people's posts. Those will all be due on Friday. The initial posts are due on Friday, and then I'll give you a couple of days after that to go back and respond to people who have commented on your post. Let's jump over real quick and talk about where we are in the syllabus. You'll see this week is all NAPS relational stages, but then next week is our first exam. This is a multiple choice, true and false exam. It will be given online. We'll talk about that on the format on Tuesday of next week. But you want to make sure that you're in class Tuesday of next week so that you can be there for our exam review. That's where I'll give you some example questions, help you understand the types of questions that I've asked. Also, going back and reviewing the quizzes that we've had would be a great way for you to review for this exam. But everything we've covered so far in the book and in lecture will be applicable for this first exam. That's everything for this week. Let me know if you have any questions.